The president's party is not the leading party in the parliament, but they have proportional representatives, which brings proper checks and balances. Like he said, it's the operators. That is why I said it's fair. His argument shows that it's failing, because the operators now have failed it. That is one drawback, it is failing. Well,
to me, it's like, okay, who is going to do it? Is that not what we have been preaching by telling everyone that if all of us agreed to be one country, so all of these conditions, these terms and agreements, they would have been sorted out where all of us would have agreed the type of government that we want, how the wealth of the land should be distributed and accessed. How do we want to protect ourselves? It varies, right? It varies. But no, some overfed miscreants, overfed pigs, somewhere believes that they could actually make this contraption work when there was nowhere all of us agreed to be the same country. We didn't. And it's not that we can't have, see, that's what we're saying, that, listen, there's no point in going back to colonial this and that anymore. At this point, you have practiced this one Nigeria under parliamentary system, which means if you are able to win enough representation, the seat in the parliament, that means the spread of how many seats you are able to win will determine if you are going to form a government. Abi? So that got truncated. And they introduced military decrees since 1966 up to this moment. Even the 1999 Constitution is a decree, military decree. The people did not have any single input in that fake constitution. The people did not vote to approve that fake constitution. That constitution does not represent anybody, any tribe, any ethnic nationality, any religion. Everything in there is imposed. Everything in there. And that's why they are telling you that you are practicing federal system of government, when what you are actually practicing is unitary system of government with a very strong center. And all others who are supposed to be the federating units, the states, they are just mere shops set up by this fake constitution, because the shops can be shut down anytime, whether the people want it or they don't want it. So that's what Peter Obi is pushing. So you do not have any democracy in that contraption. And you should not be talking about elections. No, you should actually be talking about the coexistence of this contraption and the type of government that is governing you. That's what you should be talking about. That's why on our own side, when conversation gets to that stage, right, a lot of us and our groups will publicly campaign not for a united constitution, blah, blah, blah. We're actually going to use the opportunity to campaign for a complete breakup of the contraption in peace. Like, if people can't live together, if you can't agree to be together, we can peacefully just be apart. And the majority, you don't have to start masturbating in public, all right? You don't need to start wanking in public, okay? That is what a democracy is. Those of you who want one Nigeria, you will also support one Nigeria. Those of us who don't want Nigeria anymore, we will also have our own say. You will have your own say. And if we are in the majority, yeah, you have your own say, while we have our way. And same thing to you too. If those of you who want one Nigeria are more than those who don't, it is democracy. There's no point in hating yourselves. There's no point in trying to, outdo yourselves with, different kind of bigotry. No. There's no need for all of that. But there will be an established fact that we agreed to remain together. And that remaining together under what arrangement that we all agreed. And once all these agreements, once they are like respected, then we can coexist and stay together. But now, in that contraption, they cannot even conduct their own election right now. They can't. You know, the citizens have been so bullied, so oppressed right now that you can feel the fear in them at every given opportunity when they are to possibly express themselves. It seems to have been one, achievement of the APC. Traumatize your own citizens so much that and they dare not even come out to exercise their rights under that same democratic setting. Because right now, you do not have any democracy. How does Sowore say it? Controversial Sowore, his own view on all of this. It's called missed opportunities.
Sowore, let me still stick with you. Because speaking of the unfair hands that the Nigerian public is being dealt with, let's talk about movements. Movements like EndSARS and the Obedient Wave showed public hunger for change. But why did these efforts struggle to translate into lasting political power? Is it that the country is not ready for such a transformation? Or will it take generations to dismantle this entrenched system?
You see, when you are organizing for power, you cannot organize for power by doing what those people in power are doing. You cannot organize for power by presenting an alternative that is not substantial, that's just, without substance, that is superficial. EndSARS was great, it was powerful response, but EndSARS had a problem. It was not organized around people who understood how to fight and fight to the end. So those of us who started EndSARS were shunted aside because, of course, I was at that time in Abuja, restricted to Abuja. And then others who were declaring victory before the fight was over was what led to what EndSARS did. And then what followed, which you describe as the Obedient Wave, wasn't about capturing power. It was about one political group replacing the other. And you saw the outcome. Why? Because when the opportunity came for that movement to have headbutted the system, they all folded up, because you cannot ask a pack of lions to be led by a sheep and achieve victory. It's not possible. That is what happened with that movement. But I can tell you that a new movement is emerging, and we should be all guided, we should all join hands and ensure that this movement takes the power in the fight from online to offline, and we do it in a very sustained and sustainable way until we win. And that is happening. Young people are getting very conscious. You see a female copper last week. There's a 30 days challenge going on now. And, I like the fact that the elites are always deaf and dumb around when social movements are coalescing, because what ultimately happens is that they are caught unawares.
But when it comes to social movements, you know that EndSARS ended because of the police brutality, when they were attacked with tear gas and what have you. So how far can they really go? How far can any protester really go when it comes to risking their lives?
It didn't end because there was police brutality. It was because there was no planning in place.
So you're saying if it was better planned,
that police would be brutal, that the army would have been brutal. If there was a response the day after the army attack, EndSARS would have claimed.
So what would you? So looking back now, what could have been done?
But the people who were leading EndSARS were using EndSARS for negotiation. They were using it for creating content. They were using it for personal popularity, and that's not fair.
People died.
When we had
because of this.
With them, they said, no, we don't want leadership. There is no social movement in the world that don't have leaders that have ever succeeded. They said, no, this is a leaderless movement. There's nothing like a leaderless movement.
So what do you think went wrong?
Let me just talking about.
What do you think went wrong? No, Chude, before you finish.
Sowore has mentioned.
What did you think? What do you think went wrong with EndSARS?
No, I've told you what went wrong with EndSARS was that
there was no leadership.
The EndSARS leaders of course there was leadership, but they were lying that they don't want leaders. But they were having conversation with Tony Elumelu, Dangote on Zoom. They know themselves, and the ones that raised money were not allowing the money to reach the people who were really fighting the war for the fight.
Okay.
Up to today, there are over 500,000 cryptocurrency monies that disappeared. The people who were involved in NSAS, who raised money for legal support, disappeared after NSAS. Up until last year, we were still getting people out of Ikoyi prison and other prisons in Lagos who were detained for NSAS. Ask yourself, where is feminist.co that raised all the money and said that, oh, you know, we are in charge now, we don't want anybody else. The moment it happened, what happened to them? Why did they pack up? That is not how social movements are organized. So that's why I'm telling you that they knew what they did, and one day the truth will come out. But beyond that, the moment they were done with NSAS, they went and used NSAS progress or NSAS gains into a political movement that took them nowhere. And it was because of greed or naivety or inexperience. Or, I don't know what it could have been, that you have an NSAS movement, it had that great opportunity, and you went and chose for the movement a person to gain from the movement who was part of SARS when he was governor. What kind of counterintuitiveness intuitiveness is that? It was just counter-revolutionary positioning that ended NSAS tragically. But that story will be told at another time,
Okay.
but we know what happened.
So
and
let's
people
have
who did it knew themselves.
Okay. Chide, you were going to say something, so go ahead. Let me still stick with you. Because
Omoyele Sowore, in an interview that some of the obedient members have categorically called the expression of jealousy on the part of Sowore, that's what they call it. They said Sowore is written from the disappointment that it was Peter Obi that benefited or reaped the collective rage and anger of Nigerians, despite the fact that he, as a person, has been very, very present, has produced himself, fighting for the people, so much that it was unbelievable that the same people had to go for Obi, and he all continued to call it it ended in disaster and this and that. It was actually right on the part of those who used the NSAS just to build personalities for themselves, created content. They were not really interested in any real social change from what they claim to be. Not all of them, by the way. I'm just saying that there are those who took the advantage of NSAS at the time. And today they call them celebrity, even on social media. But where are they? Many of them, true story, many of them ended up on the side of the same APC today. It's unfortunate. And yeah, if you say somehow Sowore has his own sort of like personal probably displeasure against Obi and others like that, right? But he's kind of right, because opportunity that presented itself at the time, majority didn't even know, including myself, that there were actual agenda within agenda. You know the whole story. And when it is an opportunity for them to actually take the establishment to the cleaners, right? That too got truncated. But everything else, I can indeed smell, that's a bit of like an opposition to the obedient. And that in itself also has put to question Omoyele Sowore's ambition of, just like Peter Obi, his ambition of rescuing you from Tifnumbu. Like how reliable and how true this is when there is no, any reasonable actions on the part of Sowore himself that we can say, oh, this is strong enough. And, it could probably surprise us. Like there is nothing like that going on. And Sowore won't collaborate with anybody. So, that, like I said, that put the question like, okay, Sowore believes in one Nigeria too. He wants to rescue Nigeria from the APC, PDP, and the rest of them. And maybe now he wants to rescue Nigeria from you, the obedient, because there is no any established sort of leadership traits for somebody who wants to win people over. Like, I want to win you over to my side, and you guys are so strong about about this guy that you believe in, but I've got something better. I could actually really do better. That kind of convincing personality. I'm so shocked that Sowore doesn't have that anymore, or he doesn't really portray that anymore. Here you get, because he is right. To him, again, he believes that, or maybe he's not. No, I wouldn't say he's right on this one, because when you look at some of the people who are also behind the 30 days rant challenge, you will discover that more than 90% of them, they are actually obedient too. Like, no matter the effect that their 30 days rant challenge must have on the polity in the long run, you will still discover that this is also coming from the stable of disobedience, the same set of them who were also part of the EndSARS, the rebellious generation that is tired, the generation that is so tired of the blame game and the finger pointing. And somehow, they are also naive in the sense that they still stylishly believe that an election can remove, a dictator like that or a tyrant like that, and a compromised, a political party like this of that of the APC. So naivety, but yet they are still convinced they still have the number. So if you want to latch on that, I would expect somebody of Omoyele Showore's status, right, to possibly have seen through that this challenge or no challenge is also being conducted by disobedience. They may not call it obedience movement, but you can easily tell that more than 90% of those I have seen express themselves against this establishment. They are obedient. And they seem to also still pretty much aligning with their leader, Peter Obi, which Omoyele Sowore somehow, I wouldn't say maybe he enjoys it, like attack Obi, steer some controversies and all of that, so that this obedience that makes the chunk of those who have formed the strongest opposition to the APC, online and offline, by the way. So it doesn't have it in name, and it probably doesn't even count them as useful. I mean, that would be my own assessment. Because when you wake up every day, you wonder sometimes, and I thought that the oppositions in Nigeria should probably be together to criticize the people in government, putting everybody through all of this. So why are you attacking yourselves and trying to tear yourselves apart in this way that obviously you would never want to come together, And when you see the Sowore supporters, they will tell you that Peter Obi is working for Tifnubu. When you see Peter Obi supporters, the obedient, they will tell you that Sowore is working for Tifnubu. And somehow, right, the obedient believes that what Sowore is doing is to favor Tifnubu, and Sowore supporters believes that in that kind of in that manner, So you're like, somehow, maybe all of you are actually working for Tifnubu as well. I'm just saying. So the only person who hasn't really attacked Sowore or responded to him is Obi. He hasn't. And again, talking about their coalition and what have you, Sowore won't be part of it. Obi won't be part of it. At least that's what we have heard so far. Since Atiku's ambition cannot be retired. Atiku is still going to run and contest against the Tinubu in 2027. So last, what Kalu needs is not your vote. What Kalu needs is just your participation, so that they can give all of them participation trophy. And since it is obvious that the entire system is rigged, right? So the election will be rigged as well. Result will be written, and they will tell you to go to court. So if you are going to participate in a game that is rigged against you, maybe you should start your wahala early enough by changing the rules of the game. I'm just saying, but when oppositions are not strong enough to even like sit together, share ideas together, and Sowore won't be part